Order 66 and the rise of Darth Sidious brought an end to seemingly the Jedi Order, as within the walls of the Senate building, Sidious even defeated the Grand Master of the Jedi in Yoda, although he did not manage to kill him. In the decades that would follow, Yoda would rightfully blame himself for the failures of the entire Jedi Order, coming to the realization that had he followed his own teachings and promptings, he could have saved the Jedi and uncovered the plan of the Sith. However, he revealed that at the time, he, as well as the council, was too arrogant, and it was because of this arrogance that he was ultimately blinded, just as Darth Sidious would tell him. In today's video, I want to highlight comments that Yoda makes to Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels. As you can see in Rebels, that Yoda has definitely gone through a sort of transformation, and accepted his guilt, accepted exactly how the Sith were able to rise under his rule over the Jedi, and how in the end, Yoda ultimately resolves to conquer this fear. In The Phantom Menace, Yoda says this: "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I sense much fear in you." Little did Yoda know he would be literally speaking to himself in the decades that would follow. When the Clone Wars was kicked off, Emperor Palpatine's plan was for the Jedi to turn to the army and the clone troopers that they did not fully understand in their moment of desperation. And it was in this moment of desperation that Palpatine was able to seemingly defeat the Jedi. Defeat them inadvertently, that is, even though it would take several years. It was Palpatine that fully controlled the clone army, even though the Jedi didn't know it. The Jedi didn't have time to know it, or the resources to look into it further, at least not in times of war. They were too distracted with the conflict at hand, and as Yoda would say, too arrogant to believe that this army would one day be able to overthrow the massive power of the Jedi Order. Therefore, they saw no need to take a deeper look into the creation of the clones, even though in Attack of the Clones, Yoda mentions how mysterious their creation is, and even senses the power in the dark side rising throughout the universe. These are the line from Star Wars Rebels that I want to explore, where Yoda fully admits to a brand new Padawan that it is his fault that the Jedi Order crumbled, and feels it's his responsibility to fill Ezra in on the history of the Jedi. As at this point in time, Ezra is really one of the most important Jedi in the entire galaxy because he's one of the last ones. But more important than this, he's a new generation, one of the first of the new generation. Ezra's a Jedi that's been trained post Order 66 and post the Jedi Purge, meaning his significance to the Jedi Order overall is massive. This is what Yoda says: "Padawan, thousands of Jedi once there were, then came war. In our arrogance, join the conflict swiftly we did. Fear, anger, hate. Consumed by the dark side we were. A long time fought I did. Consumed by fear I was, though see it I did not." I find this line in Star Wars Rebels so interesting. This is Yoda's apology to the next generation of the Jedi, and explanation for his failings as Grand Master. It's Yoda speaking to Ezra entirely without pride, as he feels Ezra deserves an explanation as to why the other Jedi were wiped out. Not just the logistics of it, but inside the mind of the individual that was in charge of managing the war and the Jedi as a whole. He admits to Ezra that he was afraid, and that it was because he was afraid that he turned to the clone army. In the moment though, Yoda didn't even realize his fear. He just saw the clones as the only viable option to combat the separatist movement, which is exactly what Palpatine wanted. He wanted Yoda to go against the Jedi doctrine and make a decision purely based out of fear, knowing that if the decision was made out of fear, the Force would be clouded enough. This would later echo in Yoda's teachings to Luke Skywalker, as in The Rise of Skywalker, Luke Skywalker says to Rey that it is a Jedi's destiny to confront their fears, a mistake that Yoda made, even though he was so concerned with this originally with Anakin Skywalker. The idea that he was so fearful. I love this idea as it shows that Grandmaster Yoda is even susceptible to fear himself. And in being susceptible to fear, Order 66 was able to commence, and the Jedi Order crumble as a result. But now I would love to hear what you think about these events, and how Yoda actually poured out his soul to Ezra Bridger in this sort of apology in Star Wars Rebels. Again, I wanted to highlight this small moment between Yoda and a Jedi Padawan, and break down Yoda explaining exactly exactly why he failed during the Clone Wars, something we don't really get in the original trilogy. In the original trilogy, Yoda more talks about Vader and Vader's turn to the dark side of the Force, but not the overall failure of the Jedi. Anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? And if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, what were your thoughts during this moment? And if you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, what are your thoughts on this now? Again, there's a big sale on the Star Wars merch page right before The Mandalorian Season 2, where we're trying to get rid of inventory. So basically, everything is 70% off, and you can get t-shirts and hoodies as low as $15. So if you like any of the designs that you see here, now is the time to buy. Link in the description down below. Also, according to my analytics, a lot of you guys that watch the channel haven't actually hit the subscribe button yet. So if you've been enjoying my take on the Star Wars universe and would like to see more from me, force choke that subscribe button. Or if you follow the ways of the light and are a Jedi, force push it. As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Your support means the absolute world to me. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.